Hi guys, back again. I'll just tell you a quick story that happened there yesterday evening. We were after coming from across the border, doing a bit of fishing and whatever. There was anglers there or something they were doing. They were catching small fish or whatever it was. I didn't even pass any marks. We were only there for an hour or two. We usually fish for pike and stuff like that there anyway, you know. But what I've noticed this last while, they're leaving dead fish behind them. Now, why are they leaving dead fish behind them? And it's dead fish this year. Last year, it was dead animals on the road. Every corner you'd turn, or any by road you were on, you'd meet, there'd be a dead badger on the road. I think I explained some of that in some of my videos as well last year. So that's what they're at the minute. But what they're at actually is, what I've noticed as well, guys, there has been an awful lot of funerals around this area. Within, say, 8 to 10 mile roundabout. But I know people die and stuff like that there, and old people, and, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be old people, but I know people die. But what I've noticed is that there has been more than normal funerals, if you know what I'm saying. Far more. If it's not the funerals, it's the dead animals on the road, it's the dead fish. Now what it is what it was there as well, the car crashes. There's those yokes stuck in ditches left, right and centre. You know, this is all to create a negative environment. A negative, dangerous environment for you. This is it to keep you in a negative mindset, a depressive mindset, or whatever way you like to take it yourself, if you know what I'm saying. But basically, that is what it's all about. We went through Nublis there the other day. There was a sign funeral. We were coming home from somewhere, you know. There was a sign pointing into the house for a funeral, and the door was open, and there was people coming in and out, and there was loads of cars around the place and the whole lot, and you know, it was like a typical funeral, big funeral type thing. Then I drove over the next morning. It was like the westerns. Do you ever see the cowboys and Indians, and you'll see these round weeds rolling along the ground? I forget the name of them. It was like that. It was there. Like, there was no one about, no signs, no nothing, like if nothing ever happened. So therefore I knew it was another stage event, you know. But this is what they're at now, creating, trying to create a negative environment, you know, between the car. I didn't know what all the car crashes were about. So I was seeing so many car crashes and stuff like that, or cars broke down, or there was a couple of days ago there, we heading down Enniskillen, there's a car burnt out on the left hand side. If it's not that, there's a car crash or a lead on. They're all staged. They're all staged. This is all to create a negative environment. You know, it's I don't know whether it's to create or to try and create Jesus, I can't think of the word of it now. There's a name of it. Where you don't want to go outside or leave the house. I forget the name of it now anyway. It doesn't matter anyway. But you know, you just get the gist of where I'm coming from, you know. The dead fish, the dead animals, the car crashes in the ditches, the jeeps in the ditches crashed. It's gone over the road there the other day. I noticed a lump out of a pole where some yoke, I don't know, could have been a tractor or could have been it and just created it, you know. Gone round the corner, like swiped it off, like barriers been fucking struck down, and like cars crossing or pretended to have crossed it and all this. This is all abnormal. This is not normal. I never seen this I'm 62 years here, and like, I have never ever in my life seen the amount of dead animals, yokes crashed and stuck in the ditch. Like, these people down here are no worse off than, or like, do you know what I'm saying? They're the same as any other people around the country, except they'd be more small-minded, I suppose. But when it's a negative environment, that's what they're trying to portray to you out there now at the minute. They have the kids involved in it. They have the school children involved in it. They have all the young teenage girls involved in it. They have the workers involved in it. They have the grannies involved in it. The grandfathers involved in it. From toddlers up to 70 and 80-year-old people involved in this stalking and harassment. And that'll just show you what mindset these people have. You know, if these people had any brains, they wouldn't have allowed themselves to be involved in the stalking and harassment. So it'll show you, like, what, you know, who's the stupid one here? Like, is it me or them? You know, like the amount of people that's involved in this, and that, like. But the best part of it is, there's people out there walking the streets. And another thing too, what they have, is to have these alphas walking around the fucking place, walking around the place, groping themselves and shit like this here. This is the crap. This is the low-minded scum, the scrapings off the ground that you have doing the likes of this. Old boys walking down the footpath, groping themselves and the likes of that. That's how low they're going now. That's how low they're going. But let's carry on. But this is a very nefarious program. It's very evil. It's very dangerous. And nothing good will ever come out of it. For the people that's at it, or for the people that's involved in it. It's a nefarious program. It's there. It's not to create good. It's not to create anything positive. It's all just negative, negative, negative. That's all it is. Negative the whole time. And it's of course, people with brains that's doing this here, you know, that's involved in this and doing this and carry this on as well. Of course, there's not a day goes by. I do usually wear this old green t-shirt and these black a pair of black tracksuit bottoms, and sometimes I might wear a black t-shirt or a black hoodie and a black pair of shoes and a black pair of tracksuit bottoms. Of course, there's no way you can go except you see a boy with a black t-shirt, black hoodie, black shoes and black fucking tracksuit bottoms. And if it's not that there, I usually wear this green t-shirt and a green hoodie. What did I see yesterday? Some young fella walking up towards the car, couldn't get any closer, with a green hoodie and a black bottom. They copy it. That's what they do. They're constantly copying what I do, what I wear, what way I hold my hands. Like if I'm driving like this here, you'll meet 3 or 4 yokes and them holding the cars like this. Can you not think of anything else to do except copy me? Or you haven't got that much brains to make up something that you know that I can't do. Just copy me the whole time, is it? You having 2 brain cells to rub together to think up of something else to do, no? Just keep copying me the whole time. Wear what I wear, do what I do, you know. Move the way I move, you know. This is the type of imbeciles that's out there, you know. Another funny incident happened there yesterday evening as well. We were in Super Value, and we don't have that much money at the best of times anyway. It doesn't matter about that there. We get enough that survives anyway. We're in Super Value doing a bit of shopping around. We aren't in only 5 minutes. Just come across the intercom with a register, with vehicle register 06 blah blah. Please come to the reception desk. Went up to the reception desk and they said there was some woman in complaining or worried about the dog that well, basically that's all they said. Now they were nice about it, and they said, look, we're not getting involved in it, blah blah. I'm only telling you exactly what happened. And they were smiling, they were friendly, they weren't negative, they were genuine as far as I could see, 100% genuine. So I said, the dog's grand, the windows is down, we had water in the car, we had McDonald's cups, we had McDonald's cups now in the car for the dog to drink out of. We usually always have the water. There's one of the empty bottles there. We always the water in the dog for the car. We never leave the dog in the car any more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's only if we're only going into the shop for. We were in Super Value. I'd say we were only about 10 minutes or so. We're never waiting the car with the dog in the car for 10 or 15 minutes. So it's not an issue because we make it that it's not an issue. But they said that there was some woman in complaining about the dog in the car and oh, let's carry on. Of course, it has to be the dog, you know, that they're worried about or whatever. But there was nothing wrong with the dog. The dog was fine. So they said, look, we're only passing on the message. You know what I'm saying? Well, they say the dog's fine and well, that's fine. They says go ahead and do your shopping or whatever. That's what we done. There was no hassle there. So basically we come out, put the shopping in the car. We were heading out of the car park, and the Gardaí was coming down the jeep or whatever, it was a man or a woman or whatever, called us over. There was no sirens or no lights or whatever it was going on. They called us over and asked, I suppose they got a phone call about something, and I said yes. It was someone who reported to the desk then in Super Value about the dog in the car. They were worried about the dog in the car. They were more worried about the dog in the car than I was worried about the man and the fucking man. They couldn't give a shit about the dog or your cow. Let know in the car. They couldn't give two fucks. So I explained the situation to him and the guard anyway, and that was alright. And he says, was there anybody round your car when you come out, or was there anybody out? No, we seen no one about. There was no one around the car, whatever. We just packed our shopping away and got in and left. We were coming out then, we met the guards and they called us over, so that was all right. There was no problem with that. Stopped to get out and talk to them. And seemingly, the way I took it was that someone, I think, rang the barracks and said that they reported, or went in and reported the dog in the car into Super Value, and that we come out and that we abused them for reporting the dog to Super Value, and then they rung the guards. This is what I think happened. I am not happy. I'm not 100% sure exactly, or whether it was just over the dog. That this one rang the Gardaí about the dog being left unattended in the car. But I explained the whole lot to him about the dog being in the car and the whole lot. And that was grand, there was no problem there. And then, was there anyone about your car or around your car when you come out, or had you any confrontations with the car, with anyone else? And I said no, the only one we were talking about was reception. But that's what I think, that they rang then when they didn't get any satisfaction out of the ones in the Super Value or whatever it was. I don't know what their idea was, but the exact same thing happened below in Enniskillen last year. It's all to create more stress and anxiety in you. Anyway, I told the guard, yes, there was no one about the car. When we come out, we just packed the shop and got in, and we met him on Lanterns on the way out or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying. But, alright, that's grand, John, good luck. And I'm there, what? He knows me first name, be Jesus. Of course, they all know us in there, so I'm going about here this last 8 years. Of course they know, so they know the car, they know me, they know everything about me, you know, so, like, it was no surprise anyway, you know, but that's what the scenario was. Then we were below Califoley Lake before we actually come back up the Monaghan into Super Value. And there was a good few skits down there, dogs off leads and stuff like that there. When you're out in public, you're supposed to have your dog on the lead. But of course, the brain-wise people, or should I say the brain-dead people, do have their dogs off the lead, and it's only to create more hassle for us with letting their dogs off the lead, because our Jack, the Jack Russell there, he's a fiery boy, and when he sees another dog, he gets riled up. And they know this, but yet they let their dogs. Some people, I seen a woman yesterday coming up, and she lifted her dog up. She's no lead on it. She lifted her dog up off into her arms and placed it properly in the cow. This is the proper way to do things, or have your dog on the lead. But no, they let the dog roam around the place. When you're in public, you're supposed to have your dog on the lead. That's any brain-dead fucker, I'll tell you that. But we were down fishing down further on, or we were there for an hour or two, a couple of hours, whatever it was. That's when we seen the dead fish there or whatever. But it's around a few lakes we started coming across this. Last year was the badgers and the bogs and all that. And now this year it's the dead fish. We're seeing all to create a negative environment for you between the cars, the jeeps, the fucking all these crashes and all this carry on. And that was going anyway. We're coming back up to the car, and all it was this music, boom, 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 boom. Like, this music was fucking crazy loud. And then there was some black dude sitting with his boot open, with his car reversed in at Califoley. So he could project the music down louder to the people that was walking. The car park sort of up here like that in a bit of a hill, and the people that's walking down here, he had his car reversed in and the boot open, and this music fucking pumping out of it like that. Now, if anybody would say, yeah, what about it? So what? You know, pumping a bit of music out. This was abnormally loud music, right? Now, if anybody had any hearing problems or anything wrong with their hearing or anything like that there, this music would leave it worse or create a bigger problem for this person. That's if they had anything wrong with their hearing. But of course, it was boom, boom, boom. It was abnormally loud. He was a black dude. I don't know where he was from or what he was from, I don't remember. But as the fella says, he wasn't there for good, he was there for bad. But at the end of the day, this is what we went through yesterday. It was the black dude with the music, the dead fish, and then into the car park. Like into the car park yesterday, and then it was the dog and all this. So we were only in Super Value for a few minutes from all this stuff. But every day, guys, 90% of the days, it's always some bullshit like this here. But if the fella says, like, if there was any people out there with brains at all, they'd be saying, like, how stupid can you get, like, to pull these stupid fucking skits, like, Dial Boys grouping themselves, the dead fish, the fucking, this didn't come about Dial Boys grouping themselves until I put up the video about that paedophile or that fucking diseased cunt walking around the shopping centre with his trousers hanging around his arse. that didn't come about until that video went up. But this carry on started now with these old fuckers walking around the place scraping themselves. You know, more. That's like anybody in their right mind or anybody that has brains at all doesn't go out in public and do this, you know. But this is all part of the program. This is all fucking built into the program. It's just anything out there, they'll put it out in there in your face if they think that it's annoying you, you know. This is what they'll do. And all this program resembles is mental fucking illness. Because if you go along and start talking about this to a doctor or a psychiatrist or whatever, you'll be fucking in the mental hospital straight away. You'll be paranoid, schizophrenia or whatever, and then they get you in there and they pump you whatever they like to pump you with or whatever tablets to give you, I don't know shit. You'll be walking around like a zombie, drooling zombie. That's what it all resembles mental illness, you know. That's what the program fucking resembles, you know. That's what it meant to do. But you know, you start complaining about all this shit, but it's all true. It's all this is what I go through every day, you know. The noise harassment, the vehicle harassment, the coughing, the sneezing, the clearing the throat, the bend.